Keny-Guyer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
To the bill.
Colleagues, to the bill. I rise in support of Senate Bill 941, and I'd like to offer a few thoughts from a public health perspective. Guns, like many other products in our society, have a legitimate purpose, but when they end up in the wrong hands, they become a danger to our community. As with other products, like prescription drugs, toxic chemicals, or motor vehicles, we should adopt effective laws that reduce the danger of unintended harm from firearms. It is up to us as public leaders to set the expectations and the legal parameters for responsible use of a legal product. While some people break the laws we set, as in drunk driving or not wearing seatbelts, we know that laws have a dramatic impact on reducing risky behavior and on increasing positive outcomes. We base these public health laws on data about problems and solutions. So what are the facts about gun violence and laws to reduce it? Each day in America, 88 people are killed from guns. In the last decade of available data, 566 Oregonians were murdered with guns, and another 3,440 Oregonians died in firearms accidents or suicides. I applaud efforts to increase mental health prevention and treatment, gun safety education, and enforcement of our current laws. In fact, I look forward to working with you later in this session to increase revenue to meet some of those needs. And mental health is something I'm working on very hard across both sides of the aisle. But in addition to those efforts, it's a fair question to ask, are background checks on private gun sales just a false hope, or does the data show they make any difference? The data shows that comprehensive background checks make a big difference. First, I want to reiterate the statistics mentioned by the carrier because they are critical to this debate. In the 15 states that have background checks on private sales, there are 46% fewer gun homicides of women by intimate partners. There are 48% fewer firearm suicides, and there are 48% fewer gun murders of law enforcement officers. That's astounding, colleagues. In the 13 states with the least restrictive laws, over 96% of prison inmates who were legally prohibited from gun ownership acquired their guns from a supplier not required to conduct a background check. What about the effects of repealing a background check law? In studying Missouri's repeal of its background check law, called the Permit to Carry, in 2007, Dr. Daniel Webster of Johns Hopkins School of Public Health found that there was a 25% increase in firearm homicide rates, contributing to a 14% increase in Missouri's murder rate between 2008 and 2012. Those are the 5 years immediately after the repeal of the law. That's an additional 49 to 68 murders per year. These are people. These are not just statistics. To put a face on the statistics, take Monique Williams, a 29-year-old nurse from Washington State who was killed by her boyfriend before Washingtonians voted to implement background checks at the ballot box. Her boyfriend purchased a gun on Craigslist after he was denied a gun by a licensed dealer when a background check revealed a domestic violence assault conviction. Closer to home, my constituent, Cindy Ewell, was killed at the Clackamas-Town shooting in December 2012. A hospice nurse who gently guided families through their loved one's final passage, Cindy never had a chance to say goodbye to her family. Instead, Cindy's husband, Robert, a hunter and Navy vet, and her daughter, Jenna, have advocated for the past 2.5 years to enact common sense gun safety laws. The Ewells and Paul Kemp, who lost his brother-in-law, Steve Forsyth, in the same shooting, co-founded the Oregon-based group Gun Owners for Responsible Ownership to do all we can to ensure that people who own guns are responsible, law-abiding citizens. On behalf of Cindy Ewell, Steve Forsyth, Emilio Hoffman, killed at Reynolds High School, Chris Dirth's father, Donald Dirth, a pharmacist shot in his own small business during a robbery, my uncle, Kimball Penny, who shot himself, and so many others who have lost their lives to gun violence. Let's pass House Bill 941 and make Oregon a safer and healthier place to work, go to school, shop, go to the movies, and live life to the fullest. I urge your aye support.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Wisnett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the bill.
To the bill.
Honorable colleagues, each of us swore on January the 12th, 2015, that we would support the Constitution